Streaming the Past is a new science communication project by Leiden University and Value. Every episode or theme of Past Bros will play and discuss a historical game together with you. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday and Friday on Twitch.
Hello there, fellow human people persons, and welcome to another night of Streaming the Past, stealthing through history to be precise. We are a collaborative project between Leiden University and the Value Foundation, and we stream games with at least vaguely something to do with history, which is, of course, very cool. For those of you already on board, welcome or welcome back. Hope you'll enjoy the show. If you're new, hey, give us a shout out. Exciting. If you've been with us for a while now, glad to see you back. I am not alone today in my epic quest through Jerusalem and surroundings. I have a most esteemed guest with me, not in the studio but the ether, and I'll hopefully show her to you in a 3, 2, 1. There we go. Hello, Doctor.
Hello,
Would you
Sophie.
please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, Sophie. Thank you for inviting me, for having me here. I am Angeliki Lymberopoulou, of Greek descent, obviously. My accent, my long name, all of this. Living in England, United Kingdom for the past 29 years. I'm a Byzantine art historian archaeologist working for the Open University in the Department of Art History, senior lecturer in art history. And I really, really like anything to do with Byzantium in the wider Mediterranean. So you're up my path at the moment with the Crusaders, the Crusades, Jerusalem, and all of this. So hopefully, I will not say anything which is completely a blunder today and on the wrong path and give you the completely wrong impression about the Crusaders and the Crusades. Fingers crossed.
All right. Someone just commented in chat that the game audio is a little loud in comparison to the voices, so I'm going to try and fix that for a bit. Yes, see if I can... No, that's just the graphics. Okay. Well, that's not what I want to be doing. Alright, that should be much better, I think. Alright, please let us know if the audio is working the right way at this point. I think for me it's the volume is down now, but maybe technology finds today is not the day that it functions correctly either, and you're still hearing it on volume 100. By all means, comment in chat. But for now, I think it is high time we dive into the game showing up on screen right now for all to see. Thanks again for joining us, Doctor. And we'll dive right in. Last time, I think we ended up in Acre, I think. So Acres. I'm not sure. It might be... Did we get all the way to Jerusalem? Who's to say? Anyway, right now we're in the Animus. And right now we are synchronizing the DNA of our ancestor Altair. Umza, thank you very much, Umza. The audio is apparently at the right level now. Welcome all in chat, by the way. Please let us know how you're doing. I had a bit of a messy day. Where are we? Yeah, we are in Acre. Okay, so the year is 1191. We are in the 12th century during the Third Crusade, which is currently raging across the Holy Land. Of course, not all parties felt that it was in fact a matter of raging. If I've read my literature right, to the non-Western empires involved in the events, it was more of a backdrop to much bigger other issues going on in the region at that time. But of course, our specialist today is not someone who necessarily has spent her career studying the Crusades, but rather the Byzantine Empire. So, could you maybe tell us something about the Byzantine Empire at this time, or anything else that you are either specialized in general, or that would be directly relevant to the setting of the game?
Actually, I am very interested in the Crusades, and 1191, the year we're in, is of course Richard the Lionheart from England, who went to the Holy Land, and in Cyprus, in fact. So it's just really quite an interesting period, the Third Crusade. Byzantine Empire. At the time of the Crusades, it was still very strong. Just to take things from the start, the Byzantines were obviously, for those of you who are not familiar with the Byzantine Empire, is what it covers mostly. It covered a huge ground, which shrunk and shrunk and shrunk as the year went on. Primarily, it's what the mainland Greece, lots of territories in present-day Turkey, the Balkans. Basically, this is where roughly the map of Byzantine Empire. Capital was Constantinople, presently known as Istanbul. And language, of course, Greek, the official language of the state of the Byzantine Empire since the 6th century was Greek.
Okay.
And yeah, and the official religion was Christian. And of course, after the schism in 1056, where we have the division between the Orthodox and the Catholic, Byzantine Empire is Orthodox.
Okay.
In a nutshell. But just the things you need to remember is that the official language was Greek, not Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And there are, of course, Christians. And as I said, since 1054, the official schism, they're Orthodox. So we have the Byzantines have the Patriarch as opposed to the Pope, or the Catholics have the Pope. This is one of the major issues now, that the Crusades, of course, starting officially just as an idea to free the Holy Land and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into this kind of nitty-gritty of politics, which is very, very sad. Until the Crusades come into the area, the Byzantines actually were in excellent relationships with the Arab world.
Okay.
They had mutual respect for each other, the civilization, the culture. They were very close mentally, culturally. So all of a sudden, we have the Crusades coming into the area and demanding from the Byzantines, in the name of Christianity, to help them, to assist the military in the quest of taking back the Holy Land. Of course, as you can understand, the Byzantines found themselves between a rock and a hard place because
yes,
the Arabs were their friends, their allies there. They had an understanding, But now the Crusades are asking them to put everything up for grabs, which it was very difficult.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, it was kind of very, So the Crusaders come, they camp outside Constantinople for the First Crusade. Really, we have sources that they describe how astounded they were, the Crusaders, that is, when they saw Constantinople. They have never seen anything like that at the time. Imagine, this was a big city by that standards, the 12th century standards. It had about 400,000 people, inhabitants.
Jeez, that is
massive
huge.
city, absolutely. Imagine the little kind of towns in the west. It was the descriptions we have. They were astounded by the size, the beauty, everything. And of course, they wanted to come into the city. Now, Alexios I, who was the emperor at the time, thought, thank you, but no thank you. We're very happy seeing you from a distance. You're fine where you are, and we're fine where we are. So he actually, for good reason, did not want the Crusader army coming into the city. Of course, the Crusaders took it as an insult. That was a horrible thing by a fellow Christian and all this. But Alexios stood firm and said, no, right, as he said, we're fine. You're fine where you are. We are fine inside the walls. You're fine outside the walls.
Enjoy your camping excursion, and kindly.
Just admire us for afar. Admire us from afar. It's fine. As I said, they took great offense. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that obviously Alexios did send some troops to help the Crusaders, anyway. The whole point is, of course, that put a lot of strain in the relationships between Byzantines and the Arabs. Everything became very messy, and
oh, damn it. Sorry.
Oh.
I accidentally pushed someone off the roof whilst trying to quietly assassinate them. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right?
The name of the game,
God,
Assassin's Creed.
Friends are angry with me.
Oh dear. Okay.
So sorry about that.
He seems indestructible, that guy. Look at him climbing. Wow.
Yeah, he's built different. I guess it has to do with his I won't say divine ancestry, but like the Isu, there's this almost godlike race that precedes the human race and is also its creator in this game franchise. It's all rather conspiracy theory weird. Also, Lannister1111 in chat asks if this is the last stream before lockdown. To be honest, I have no clue. I think no one does. I think, what was it, last Thursday we hit a record number of newly recorded infections, namely 16,334 off the top of my head, which is the most we've had since the start of the pandemic. Ergo, everything's going to shit, and we're here to watch it. I don't know if we'll be able to continue streaming next week or the week after, because right now it seems we'll be having 3 weeks of lockdown. Of course, if the circumstances are, if they leave us room to stream, we will, but we are not, as much as we would like to suggest otherwise, breaking any laws to do what we like to do best, which is obviously spend time with you and geek out about games and history. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking, you'll have my hands for that. That's cool. I'm sorry, one of the NPCs, one of the characters in the game was harassing a citizen, and they usually do that by having their hands for that.
Yeah, well, the Crusaders did that a lot, harassing the citizens in the in the Holy Land. I think
It
they really, really did that a lot.
It's almost like when you send a whole bunch of people to a foreign country, and they're usually predominantly men with swords and other weapons, they start acting like little shits.
There were a lot of there were not obviously not only soldiers that came with the crusade. There were fortune seekers and artists.
Traders.
Oh yeah, traders. Yes, there were a bunch of different people who came along trying to make a living basically. But yeah, the whole point was the havoc they raised in the area. And as I said, eventually what they did, they made a mess in the area. And of course, the Fourth Crusade in 1204, they finally sacked Constantinople. I mean, because I suppose they were so pissed off that Alexius the First not let them go into the city. They decided, no, we're gonna come and visit the city, and they just really took it in 1204, having destroyed everything in the area, the relationships between. Yeah, and Byzantium never recovered from that sacking.
They both metaphorically and literally destroyed the empire.
Yeah, they're not really very popular in the area for good reason, I would say. Now there are that I can see him moving quite swiftly, obviously, because he's not dressed like a crusader. Obviously, you can see that his attire is relatively light, because imagine the crusade. Well, he's obviously an assassin. I'm not sure if he's going to assassinate indiscriminately everybody, or just I don't know.
You have a specific set of targets who are all related to the Crusaders, the Templars specifically, and then we're not talking about like the historical order of the Templars, because those were usually rather. In fact, the sort of mitigating force of often cautioning King Richard to tone it down a little. I keep forgetting to synchronize and then climb the tower again, and oh well, a never-ending story. But rather the fictionalized band of conspirators who wish to attain world peace by total control and the elimination of free will. And that's the people I'm trying to assassinate at this moment.
Oh, I see. Okay. You see very little changes in human history. No matter how many thousands of years go by, we still, history repeats itself. So yeah, I can see how relevant that Crusader era is to the present day.
Yeah, so
I was trying, sorry, yes, go on, Sophie.
There is in fact a punishment if you attack or otherwise, otherwise, I mean, killing also involves attacking them, but if you harm citizens, you lose parts of your health bar and eventually desynchronize, because that goes against the Assassin's Creed. Surprise, surprise. So you act so horribly against Altair's nature that you, as the modern day character that is currently living through his memories, are kicked out of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But killing soldiers is fine.
Killing soldiers is fine.
Interestingly, you can kill as many soldiers as you want.
I have to say that the Crusaders were not as gallant as that. I mean, when they took Jerusalem, they actually massacred everybody there. It was just awful.
Oh yes. Jeez,
They were not very gallant or very
very.
romantic as we have them in films. They actually massacred every man, woman, and child. It was just awful, which also shows the exact opposite in character when Saladin took Jerusalem back from the Crusades, from the Crusaders. In fact, he showed such grace. I mean, he actually let everybody go unharmed out of Jerusalem. The complete opposite attitude and you can actually have this juxtaposition that the Crusaders who came to free the Holy Land, blah, 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 massacred everybody in Jerusalem. When Saladin came back to take Jerusalem, he was so just let everybody go unharmed. Completely different attitudes. That shows you really. Yeah, I suggest for people to, if they're interested in this era, to watch The Kingdom of Heaven, which is actually historically very accurate, well, relatively accurate, but yes, it has a lot of historic un-Hollywood elements, if I'm allowed to say that. They haven't made history according to Hollywood idea. Yeah.
Okay. I also see someone in chat, in fact Paris, saying that we have 25,000 cases per day in Ukraine. I am very sorry to hear that. That's even worse than we've got it here. You mentioned something about this in yesterday's stream as well. I mean, what interesting times we live in, am I right? And then Lannister has some very interesting comments, saying, for example, I believe Alexius wanted the first Crusade leaders to swear him an oath of fealty, which Bohemond of Taranto was not happy about. And Godfrey of Bouillon prayed in a church while the massacre took place. So during the conquering of Jerusalem by the Crusaders, I presume Godfrey, the absolute arsewipe, was praying in a church.
Yes, that is correct. Both of them are correct, historically speaking. Yes, Bohemond did not like the fact. Well, it was just really, like who's the most powerful, effectively. It's like little children in a playground.
It's a power game, yeah.
Yeah, I am the leader. No, I am the leader. No, I'm better. I have a bigger army. So that.
Oh God! Someone shot me off.
Talking of Bohemond, if you're interested, I mean, again, we have a very good source on the Crusades and Crusaders because Alexius's daughter.
Oh yes.
Yes. Anna Komnene.
Oh my God! Stop.
Has written a whole. Well, I think they're there to hit you and prevent you from completing your tasks.
Well, I am peacefully trying to climb a church, and they take offense. I think that is extremely unfair and also very closed-minded of them.
Right. Okay.
but I'm sorry. Please continue about Anna.
No, peacefully trying. I was just trying to find all the oxymoron in this narrative. Peacefully trying to go up a church, and they think that is just a wonderful description. Right. No, I'm going to say Anna Komnene was Alexius's the first daughter. Very a wonderful, wonderful female presence. She has written Alexias. It's a history named and dedicated to her father, Alexios, Alexias. So it's just a narrative. I have here the translation in English. She made excellent observations. I totally recommend this. It's a good read, actually. Excellent read. I'm not going to go into, well, I might as well, because...
Yeah, please do.
It's a lot of debate whether or not she wrote the book, or, because she was obviously female, and could she have written all this, and but actually, I don't see why. I mean, she was, after all, a princess, highly educated, And I don't see why she couldn't have written it herself. Obviously, there are certain things. I will read you certain passages later, but she describes military stuff. Yes, okay, she might have got some help, but doesn't mean that she didn't write it herself because she, just because she was female. She was highly educated, but also because Sophie mentioned Bohemond, who was really having a go at her father. But he caught. Okay, as I said, the army obviously stayed outside, but of course the leaders of the army were invited into the city, of course, without their armies, basically.
Understandably, yes.
Yes, they had to leave all the armies behind. And of course, not of course, for whatever reason, Bohemond caught Anna's eye. Apparently, she found him extremely attractive. And she dedicated quite a passage on him, which, if I may, just
Yes,
quickly,
please do.
I would really like, because it's just such a wonderful passage.
If you give me a second before that, I see that Alkai19 has entered the chat. Welcome. And Emir has also found his way. Emir is Aris, one of the Value Foundation members, and our tech wizard, who was very helpful today when I had to fix everything. But yeah, welcome everyone in chat. I would love to give you trumpets, but I'll probably get murdered for that. Wait, no, maybe... There we go.
That's so cool.
I have so many buttons and they do so many different things.
Oh, I love this.
But please share us with us the passage in which Anna is thirsting about Bohemond.
Yes. So she says now, I'm reading, I'm not going to read obviously the original Greek, because it will literally be all Greek to you, but so I'm going to read from the English translation I have, unless you really insist that they would like me to read it. No, I'm joking, I'm not going to do
well,
that.
Aris is Greek, so he might understand you, but I can't speak for the rest of the chat.
No, let's go for the majority here. So Anna says, the appearance of this man was, to put it briefly, unlike that of any other man, whether Greek or barbarian, seen in those days on Roman soil. I'll come back to both barbarian and Roman soil. Mm-hmm. The sight of him inspired admiration, the mention of his name terror. I will describe in detail the barbarian's characteristics. His stature was such that he towered almost a full cubit over the tallest man. He was slender of waist and flanks, with broad shoulders and chest, strong in the arms. Overall, he was neither too slender nor too heavily built and fleshy, but perfectly proportioned. One might say that he conformed to the idea of Polycletus. His hands were large. He had a good firm stance, and his neck and back were compact. If to the astute and meticulous observer he appeared to stoop slightly, that was not caused by any weakness of the vertebrae of the lower spine, but presumably there was some malformation there from birth. The skin all over his body was very pale. Don't ask me how she knew all over his body. She doesn't say, but the skin all over his body was very pale, except for his face, which was pale, but with some color to it too. His hair was light colored and did not go down to his shoulders, as it does with some other barbarians. In fact, the man had no great predilection for long hair, but cut his short to the ears. Whether his beard was red or of any other color I cannot say, for the razor had passed over it closely, leaving his chin smoother than any marble. However, it seemed that it would have been red. His eyes were light blue and gave some hint of the man's spirit and dignity. Really, their nostrils that were broad, worthy of his chest, and a fine outlet for the breath that came in gusts from his lungs. So you can see that she was quite besotted.
Yes.
The appearance. I mean, the characteristics. Obviously, blue eyes and light hair, short hair, and all. So I have to say now to all Greeks, because everybody else was a barbarian. That goes back to the ancient Greek.
Yeah, I know. That's really
Yeah.
fun to read. Actually, well, fun. It's all, sometimes it's a little xenophobic, but oftentimes it's just
No, it's not. That's why we have to really put it in the context. So everybody who was not a Greek was a barbarian, but we need to put that in context. That is not a xenophobic attitude. The truth is that to the ears of those who were speaking Greek, the language sounded very much and the sound of ba, 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 ba. And that's why we term it barbaric. It's more to do with the sound of the language rather than the behavior of the actual people, if you see what I mean. So barbarians are not necessarily, it's just a different speaking people, which I know now it has come out, it has different connotations, and yes, it can, obviously it's not, it can be xenophobe and all of these things, but not at the original time. It had more to do with the sound, which to the ears of the Greeks sounded very hoarse, kind of very, very heavy sound, let's say.
yes.
Now, yeah. So Anna obviously calls everybody else a barbarian. The whole army who was not Greek, Byzantine Greek, who was a barbarian. Now, Roman soil, that's interesting because we call them Byzantines, but they themselves call themselves Romans because that was the continuation of the Roman Empire. So that was the Eastern Roman Empire. So the Byzantines themselves they thought of them as Romans.
And do you know if they considered themselves to be more Roman than Rome, basically?
Not more Roman than Rome, but certainly equivalent. I mean, they were the continuation in their eyes, it's very difficult to understand, primarily because, as I said, the official language was Greek, not Latin anymore.
Yeah.
But they call themselves Romans, and that's why the emperors were the purple. It comes from the Roman emperors, of course, the imperial purple, and we have certainly ceremonies that go back to the Romans, and a lot of things from the Roman Empire. However, as I said, the difference was the language, and of course it's Eastern Empire. Rome went into a different direction.
I am so lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can understand, but he's in a church.
I think it's built as a church, but it's clearly a hospital of sorts.
Yeah, sometimes we had that. Yes, the churches housed hospitals, and but I think it's. Can you see that door?
I think I'm not supposed to be here yet. Like this is I mean, I can come here unpunished, but more like this is the stage for a later series of events in the game. But I want to climb something and I can't figure out how to do that. Sorry.
No, are you apologizing to us or to the people you're pushing out of your way?
To the completely fictional pieces of algorithm
Okay,
I am wantonly
pushing
out of the way, yes. God. Okay. I am at the moment, because you are honestly telling a lot of very interesting things, just trying to clear the map and synchronize as many vantage points as I can, so I can quietly continue on with my questing business.
Are we supposed to be in Jerusalem or Acre at the moment?
We are in Acre at the moment, but I can go to Jerusalem if you'd like.
No, I don't mind. It's just, and actually, Acre is under Crusade. Oh no, he fell.
Yes, Acre is currently belongs to the Crusaders, or is under control of the Crusade, which you can see because all the enemies are addressed as Westerners, I guess, quote unquote.
Acre remains on to Crusader hands until 1291. The loss of Acre is just really that's the end of the Crusader presence. 1291. It's the fall of Acre. That was the last stronghold they had in Jerusalem. But at the moment, at the time we are at the Third Crusade, yes, it's quite a stronghold for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and in terms of infrastructure, also a very important point in the area.
Totally.
And what they've also tried in the game, I've mentioned this during the previous stream as well, but since that's 2 weeks ago, I'll just say it again because it's cool. The developers have used a sort of garish blue depressing filter to emphasize the feeling of recent destruction. You can see that some of the rooftops are completely in shambles. There's also much more churches, Christian architecture. There is a very, very random Gothic church in the distance, as you can see right now, which is, I understand why they did it. It's very recognizable as such, but it's highly unlikely that this type of architecture would have spread to the area at this point in time.
It's early, yes. It's very early for that, yeah.
But yeah, they've made it very clear that this city has seen some very intense violence recently and has switched hands, if you will.
Yes. It does look a little bit gloomy, doesn't it?
Oh, hey, J.A. Pasco. Welcome to the stream. Have some trumpets. We're doing well. We've got a guest today, Dr. Lymberopoulou, who is a Byzantine art specialist. Is that? Can I call you that?
Yeah, I am a Byzantine art historian and archaeologist. That's what. Yeah.
Exactly. And you've been telling us about a very cool female historian whose contributions to the historical records are contested, as is the contribution to history of any female figure in history, sadly, but very interesting nonetheless.
No, I think we are trying to root for her and say that it's just the Anna Komnene did most of the writing.
Absolutely. I agree with you, but
I know,
a couple other scholars do not, apparently.
No, it's just... I'm just trying to see... Oh, dear. What happened?
The screen froze. And now everyone's angry with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I forgot how I did... How do I disengage? What? I don't know what I just did. Oh, God. No, they're going to kill me. Okay. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, I think you're doing a good job trying to tell them to leave you alone. Primarily, you're killing them.
Well, I mean, that does solve part of the problem, not in a very friendly way, but whoops.
Oh, dear.
So sorry about that, sir. Gosh. They're all so aggressive in these parts, and so very easily provoked.
Like the troops outside Constantinople were very offended that they were not allowed to be here. So they're very touchy, I think. The Crusaders were a little bit.
They're still reeling from that humiliation, I guess. Yeah. Oh well, they're all dead now, so they won't have to feel ashamed anymore. There we go.
here he go. Off he goes again.
The problem is, I also don't remember how to assassinate people. There is a sequence of buttons for that, and I do not know what it is anymore. Oh, well.
I think if the game is called Assassin's Creed, that's a vital
It is,
function.
isn't it?
Yes, but you really need to know how to assassinate people.
I'll check if I can find out. I see some interesting things in chat going on. For example, Paris says that Cyprus was technically the Crusaders' state too, and that it held longer, well into the 14th century. I don't know about that, but I believe you.
Yes, it is true. Richard the Lionheart, as I said, from England, Richard the Lionheart, who, by the way, just in case, he did not speak a word of English, by the way, Richard the Lionheart of England only spoke French. Sorry, that's a little trivia that I always find.
No, and they've actually incorporated that into the game. He does speak English because everyone speaks English, but he has a French accent.
Yes, that is correct in that case, because he really did not have any English, Richard the Lionheart, the King of England. He only spoke French. Wow. Okay. I don't want to be popular among my British colleagues at the moment, but this is a historic fact. He just spoke French. Sorry, yes, Cyprus, absolutely. Cyprus fell a lot later. In fact, after the fall of Acre in 1291, the last stronghold of the Crusaders in the Holy Land, they moved into Cyprus and they held longer. But Acre was really a devastation for them. It was really, that was the last time they had a foothold in the Holy Land. And yes, then they moved to Cyprus afterwards.
I figured out how to assassinate people.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, Lannister asks if I'm sure I'm not British since I'm apologising so much. I'm not sure how I should respond to that. I could say I'm sorry for apologising, but I think that's counterproductive. I could also say I'm fairly certain I'm not British, if you can't tell by my accent, which is kind of all over the place, especially since I'm a bit tired. Yeah, sure. I mean, apparently Queen Elizabeth II is a member of the Order of St. John, and Paris says that after the fall of the Crusader states, they went to Rhodes, and in 1521, after the Turkish conquest, they went to Malta. Malta is an amazing place. If you feel like taking a holiday, even in this economy, in the Mediterranean, visit Malta. It is beautiful. It is a fascinating melting pot. Maltese is a bizarrely interesting language because it's Arabic languages meet basically everything else being spoken in the Mediterranean ever. And it's got some beautiful architecture, and you can dive there as well in crystal clear waters.
Rhodes is also very nice, and it has now this, of course, we're talking about a specific part of the Crusaders. I think it's the Hospitallers who had Rhodes and then moved, or the Templars. Can never remember which one of the two, but they had Rhodes till they stayed in Rhodes till 1521 when the Ottomans came, and then they moved to Malta. The Maltese cross and everything comes from this kind of crusade.
Yeah, and Malta is one of 3 islands of a sort of small huddled family of islands. You've got Malta, you've got Comino, and you've got Gozo, and I'm not sure if Comino has one, but I'm 100% certain they're there on Gozo and Malta. They have these old Crusader fortresses still, in which they would light huge fires to signify danger, and they had this sort of WhatsApp chain, I suppose, of fortress fires that would light up in sequence to warn others of any incoming aggressors. And
it is a long-standing and old, very old
well, I mean, it
way
makes
of
sense,
signaling.
right?
Yeah.
You've got smoke signaling all over the world. And
No,
Umza rightfully asks, didn't most royals only speak French? At the time, definitely, French was the language of the English court, interestingly enough, yes.
Depending on the royals, because I have to say, as a Greek, obviously the Byzantines spoke Greek, not
Oh,
French.
yes, but-
so
but-
can we please, we have to just to not
I'm talking about the English ones, of course, yeah.
and obviously the English, yes, and the Italians, of course, spoke Italian, and then I think it changes at some point, but yes, at the moment we're talking about the Crusade era and the Crusaders, English royalty spoke French. Yes.
Yes, and Lannister 111 elaborates on your point about Richard, saying that he didn't speak any English and spent most of his time in Aquitania, and he was never meant to be King of England. In fact, he was the second or third brother. Okay.
Actually, he was. Yeah, I don't know. As I said, he's officially King Richard I of England, and he ruled between 1189 and 1199. So he is officially a king in the. I don't know.
Wait, are we talking about? We're talking about Richard Lionheart, right?
The Lionheart, yes.
Yeah.
Richard the Lionheart.
Because that's Richard the First.
Yes.
I was saying Richard the Third. Sorry.
No, Richard III, no. But he's also obviously a king and ruled, but Richard the Lionheart is known as King Richard I of England and ruled between 1189 and 1199. So he had a 10-year rule officially as a king of England.
Yes. And
did not spend much time in England, mind you.
His
Actually,
Wikipedia...
very, very little.
His Wikipedia page says, very nicely summarized, most of his life as king was spent on crusade, in captivity, or actively defending his lands in France.
Yes, correct, very correct. It's one of those kings who likes to be away from his country, I think. Sorry, I have books on roads and but they're all in my office. So the Hospitallers, the Templars.
Also, Dora TP says about Malta that a lot of historical movies were filmed there as well.
Yes.
Amongst which Gladiator, which I think most of people will have heard about, got an Oscar and stuff. Are you not entertained? And all that. We've got The Count of Monte Cristo, which is one of my personal favourites, and many others, I would assume. Can I murder these people quietly? There we go. Oh, no, he got angry.
Can I murder these people quietly?
I mean, it is more convenient that way.
Sorry, it's just so funny.
Please let me slaughter you.
Please let
cordially.
Me slaughter you. Cordially, yes. And I will apologize for the mess.
As a true British. Oh, dang it. No, don't shoot at me. Ow. Dang it. How did perfect parrying work again? No, that's not it for sure.
Right. Okay. I found it. So we have obviously the Knights Templar, the Knights Hospitallers, the Teutonic Knights, and
of course, the Knights Templar were originally founded to protect the temple district in Jerusalem. That's why they're called Templar, from the temple. Yeah. And extended their protection to all pilgrims and pilgrims' routes to holy places. So the Knights Templar, actually, they were actively, I think there were knights, yes, as obviously the Knights Templar were knights. Wow, surprise, surprise. But they were actually protecting, they were supposed to protect pilgrims and travelers. Now, the Knights Hospitaller, as of course their name suggests, were attached to the Hospital of St. John in Jerusalem and cared for the sick.
Okay.
And then the Teutonic Knights, I'm assuming must have been something to do with Germanic. I'm not sure, but anyway, they were also
the Teutoburger Walt is what you're referring to, right?
And were also linked to hospitals in Jerusalem and Acre as well.
Oh, bye, Alkai. Also, Umzer is asking about the Knights Husseini.
Sorry?
The Knights Husseini. I'm not sure.
I don't think I can find that reference in the books here.
That would be something, though.
Yes, indeed. That would be very interesting.
So Lannister also says that, ironically, Richard's brother John was actually a better king than Richard, even in spite of the Magna Carta, in that John completely overhauled the crown's administration. Okay. Due to his father marrying Eleanor, who was actually Queen of France before marrying Henry II.
Oh, okay. John is portrayed so. He has really bad PR. John, in all the films, he's portrayed so badly. So his PR is really. He should have really thought more carefully about appointing people for future reputation, because he's just.
Disney was not kind to him.
No, not at all. It's just really. He's really portrayed as a complete.
Imbecile, a coward and an imbecile. Yes.
The other words come to mind, but I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to swear and use obnoxious words.
I, for the longest time, was convinced we were not allowed to utter any expressions of profanity at all.
Okay.
I don't usually do that anyway, but apparently we are allowed to swear.
If we can avoid it, it's better, isn't it? Yeah.
I suppose so. One more synchronization point to go. Let's see. Oops.
So the Acre, I can see that approximate population, it says about just under 45,000 people.
Okay.
It says in here. I just saw something just before this. I wonder if it's a correct estimation for that. It looks a little bit, it sounds a bit high to me, 45,000 at the time. But anyway, I was trying to say that at the beginning, when I said that Constantinople had like 400,000, you can imagine if, let's say, Acre has 45,000, can you imagine what a city it must have been, Constantinople, and how wowed everybody would have been.
A metropolis.
They would have never seen anything like that. Even the biggest cities in the West would not have been comparable to the size and splendor of Constantinople, yes. Which we know from the sources, it was a magnificent city.
J.A. Pascoe mentions horrible histories, and I am so grateful for it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want your children to get hooked on history, make them watch horrible history. Specifically, the first series with Matthew Bainton, amongst others. They are absolutely genius.
Oh, yeah. We
Very
have the whole horrible histories upstairs. Absolutely.
You do? Oh,
yeah.
I'd love to buy them, but they're horribly expensive in the Netherlands.
Are they? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
I guess for one, because no one has ever heard of them, and for another, because you probably need to import them from England, which is rather difficult at the moment because of Brexit.
I'll bring them to you next time. I will, because I think Amazon has them, and it's we have. I mean, Anaritsa, my daughter, we have the whole series. We have watched the whole horrible histories, and it's just incredibly good and funny, and that's the best way to learn history.
Oh, and they have parodies of about every pop song you can imagine, except Darwin is singing them, or I don't know, Oscar Wilde. They've got which bandit was? They've got some bandit singing "Stand and Deliver," which.
You have Alexander the Great singing some rock song with Ptolemy in the guitar. It's amazing. It's just incredible. It's just so funny. So fun. Here it is. It says approximate population 44,974. Can you see in the screen, Sophie?
I think you have to hold it up a little. I can't.
Oh, okay. It's just I'm looking at something which is, I don't know what I'm looking at the moment, memory map or something, and it says at the bottom left, Acre.
Oh, you're referring to my screen. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can see that. 44,974. Yeah. That's cool.
So I'm just saying if it sounds a bit. Yeah, for a big city at the time, yes, I think it's just about. So it's still very small compared to Constantinople, but very big city for the compared to other cities of its time.
Also, apparently, J.A. Pascoe was referring to the books.
The books are good. We have them all also. We have also all their horrible histories.
Even know there were books, but that's good to know.
Yes. They have all of this. I mean, they have obviously my favorite. It's the Groovy Greeks. They have a book called The Groovy Greeks and the Rotten Romans, which is fantastic. I've read it I don't know how many times. They have the Gorgeous Georgians, the Vile Victorians, I don't remember everything. I think now they have changed. The Vile Victorians is something else because...
Rotten Romans, maybe?
The Rotten Romans are still, I think they're still continue to be Rotten Romans. I'm just trying to see. No, sorry, now they're not because Rotten people did not like, so now I can see it from here. They're the Ruthless Romans now. The Greeks remain groovy because obviously we're groovy, but the Rotten Romans have now become the Ruthless Romans.
Okay, maybe they already were the Ruthless Romans. I don't know.
I prefer them as Rotten, actually. I very much like the Rotten Romans.
Also Paris says that we had in Rus the Prince Sviatoslav, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, who was a great warrior, fought a lot against Byzantium, conquered Bulgaria, but was not a great ruler and also had a positive reputation regardless, like Richard. Okay.
Who is that? Sorry, who is that?
Prince Sviatoslav.
Right, okay, that's Bulgarian.
He was a prince in Rus and he conquered Bulgaria.
Russian. Okay, yeah. And also, I just got a text from my daughter, who's a very big fan of horrible histories. Of course, we have the Awful Egyptians, which I think is a very unfair name. The Awful Egyptians. I think that was very, very unfair to call the Egyptians awful. But anyway.
I think they wanted, I mean, it's horrible history, so they've given them all rather negative names. I mean, Rotten Romans isn't exactly a compliment either.
No, but that's what I mean. Very few had a positive, as I said, the Groovy Greeks, the Gorgeous Georgians.
True, Very
few, So very few were graced with positivity. Okay, who is this person? Oh dear.
I need to pickpocket him, but...
Oh, so you're not only an assassin, you're a thief as well.
No. I am. Oops, and I failed. Okay. I don't remember how to pickpocket people. Oh well. And they're angry at me again. Haha, bye.
You're a thief.
No.
As well.
I gather
Assassin.
intel. That's something else.
Oh,
That's
right.
that is
That's
subterfuge. That is not
It's a
thievery.
different way of basically, it's a more euphemism for thief. You gather intelligence. You're not stealing. You're just gathering intelligence.
Yeah, I mean,
Very much. Yeah.
the entirety of history is dependent on how things are named, right?
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. That's why we're in such dire straits at the moment, because we euphemize our history and we never learn from our history. Here you go.
We've got Wakasa joining the chat. Welcome, Wakasa. Always lovely to have you here. Sviatoslav was killed on his way back from Bulgaria. History repeats itself. Actually, there is a beautiful quote, I think from Mark Twain, but I'm not sure. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. And I think I'll have that embroidered on a pillow if I ever have the time and money for such fanciness. But yeah, glad to have you here, Wakasa. I am currently, as they say, failing miserably at being an assassin.
That's not a bad quality.
Well, I mean, if it's your sole purpose for existing in this world, then it does kind of suck.
Maybe the universe is trying to tell you to rethink your profession. I don't know.
Well, I mean, university is fine with me not killing people on a daily basis. I'd suspect. I think that would not do their reputation much good if they're breeding serial killers.
No. I can see the problem with that. Now, as I said, I've lost the assassin. I cannot see him. Oh, you try to pickpocket the. I see.
Yeah, so I'm trying
You're
to...
stalking him. You're stalking that poor guy, trying to gather intelligence, as you put it. Okay.
Well, they've designed his face to look very evil, so I think he's
Right.
evil and therefore deserves it. Well, I mean... He looks very angry.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why he would be angry with me for stalking him. So.
Yeah, I think. Plus, I think if you were to walk around these surroundings, you would be angry and suspicious of everybody. I would think that this is just really, it does not inspire confidence, these surroundings.
No. Anyway, I've successfully stolen whatever information he was holding on to, so that's nice.
Well, he moves, what I said, I think at the beginning, that he's obviously dressed very lightly, in the sense that you have to remember that the Crusaders, the actual knights, they were rather heavily dressed. I mean, I think they were putting their armor that they were putting with the helmet and everything. I think it, scholars have calculated that it was about 23 kilos that they were putting on to go to battle. 23 kilos.
In the heat of the Near
Yes,
East.
in the heat of the Near East. And also, can you imagine the poor horses? Because of course, with all this, the poor horses had to carry all this. Oh, but yes, 23 kilos apparently. Their panoply or whatever. Yes. Sorry, I'm just reading again. It says that apparently the weight of this armor for the combat was evenly spread out.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't. Well, still, I think if you carry 23 kilos, know how much evenly spread out it is in your body. Still rather heavy, right? I mean, imagine having to your sword. When your whole arm would have been kind of completely plated with iron, whatever, and then you also have to lift your sword and start fighting. How must... Doesn't sound an easy task, really.
I mean,
the sword was not a small thing.
No, but I think, or for one, not everyone was carrying swords. At least I'm not sure about.
sure.
Yeah, the knights for sure, but of course not the sort of lay troops, if you will. And I mean, soldiers nowadays are also carrying huge burdens around with them and managing. I think some would even be dragging around 30 kilograms of gear. So I suppose that with proper training and getting used to, it's doable. I mean, it won't be pleasant, however you turn
Yeah.
it, but
You have to, of course, that the gear these days is much more, it's a lot more refined. I'm assuming that,
well,
as you
that is
said,
true too. But
in the heat of the Middle East at the time, where you have to and it was iron cast.
yeah,
You
no,
really, you were
definitely.
wearing. It was like you were wearing an oven.
That is 100% true. Also,
So yeah.
Wakasa is reminding me of my statement of a previous stream in which I expressed my confidence in knowing how to kill people, but I never said I was always successful at killing people. So there is a bit of semantics going on there, but anyway. I see that Emer has to go, which, I mean, thank you for joining us in the first place. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And Umza says that historiographically, that also doesn't hold up. I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Historiographically.
I'm trying to scroll back for a bit and see what he's talking about. Okay, not to repeat, but okay, yeah, he's referring to the quote about history repeating itself, and Paris is correcting that statement by saying, okay, not repeat, but have similar trends sometimes, because people are people whenever they live. And Umza comments, historiographically that also doesn't hold up, but let's not get bogged down in a theoretical discussion. Let's not. Let's just go around and rid the Holy Land of these evil conspirators that have been put on my list of evil conspirators to be killed. And yes, Paris, war is not a pleasant thing under any circumstance. Whoops, daisies.
Does he have, I cannot see, does he have a crossbow on his back?
No, he does
Sophie?
not.
He does not.
He does not, and that is something that Alkai 19 would have known the details of it, and sadly he had to leave some time ago. The game devs initially meant to integrate a crossbow into the player character's gear set, but then they found out that, historically speaking, the assassins wouldn't have had crossbows, either in general or the needed technology to create them themselves. So they took them out of the game.
Mm.
And that is why you do not... I think you get throwing blades at some point, but I might have to pickpocket some brutes for that, because obviously all brutes carry throwing knives with them at all times.
The crossbow, however, it is something that the Crusaders did have.
Yes, but of course our character is not a Crusader. He is an assassin from the...
Yeah.
Assassin.
I'm just saying that, he's not a Crusader, but he's at the time of the Crusades, right? So
Yes,
wouldn't
definitely.
he have the most kind of late technology, military technology? I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know.
I mean, if the crossbow was around at the time, it may very well have been possible that he'd gotten his hands on them. But I assume the developers of the game, they might have known that the Western troops would have had crossbows, but not the Near Eastern ones, which is very generalizing, of course, because the Near Eastern troops could have been anything. Just like when I'm saying Western troops. But in the end, they made this decision.
No, it's historically correct. Or I'm just saying it's again because our friend Anna Komnini, she did notice the crossbow being carried by the Crusader troops, and she also wrote about it in her history because she says a crossbow is a weapon of the barbarians, absolutely unknown to the Greeks. It made an impression to her that in order to stretch it, one does not pull the string with the right hand while pushing the bow with the left away from the body. This instrument of war, which fires weapons to an enormous distance, has to be stretched by lying almost on one's back. Each foot is pressed forcibly against the half circles of the bow, and the two hands tug at the bow, pulling it with all one's strength towards the body. Basically, she was not very. She thought it was an evil
piece of machinery.
weapon. Yeah, she actually it actually made an impression, and she goes on and on and on describing it, which clearly shows how much. What an impression it made to her. It made on her, this crossbow.
Okay.
It's called. It's a truly diabolical machine, she says, Anna. The unfortunate man who is struck by it dies without feeling anything. So strong is the force of the blow. So,
I'd say that's a good. I mean, not him. I wouldn't kill people in the first place, but them dying without feeling a thing would be something to feel a little more positive about than getting jabbed by a sword and then dying from horrible infections 3 days after.
Yeah, I know. I just, but it's clearly, as I said, it made an impression, and the description of Anna describing the crossbow is a lot of, some scholars have used it as an example or an argument that she did not write it herself, but I just don't see why. She could have asked somebody for help with the description, you don't have to be, okay. She could have asked her husband, for example, was a general. She could have asked for advice.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean,
I
nowadays
don't see why.
historians and other types of scientists don't write their theses entirely by themselves, just picking everything out of the ether as they go. Either they ask for help and they read other sources, either primary or secondary. So why couldn't she?
No, absolutely. I think it's a great story and totally worth your time if you want to read. It's just really quite insightful. Anyway, I quite like the lady, as you probably have gathered. So.
Also, I see we have a first-time chat from viewer Amy N. Palmer, I would assume, or Amin Palmer, either of the two. Welcome, glad you joined in. They say, hello, OU student here. So that's Open University, I'd be guessing. Watching for a bit before I go to work. The crossbow sounds horrible. It does indeed. Good luck with your work. That's quite the late evening shift you've got going there.
I think Amy must be one of the students, my students studying 8226 at and they just finished the Crusader chapter, I think. So if that's it, and if I say hi, Amy, thanks for joining. if I have gotten that correct, but yeah, they just finished the Crusader Art chapter so it's quite relevant. Well, yeah, we don't teach them how to kill, put it like that. The Crusader Art chapter, we did not teach our students how to go around assassinating other people. Believe me, no. It's just about beautiful objects created produced in the Holy Land at the time the Crusaders were present.
By the Crusaders or by the locals being crusaded upon? Or both?
Both, actually. It's an art. Well, okay. It's a propaganda. It was a propaganda overall. In a nutshell, I'm just gonna now try to explain thousands and thousands of words of scholarly approach to Crusader art. Try to confine it in a kind of 2 sentences. The Crusader art was a propaganda on the behalf of the Crusaders in order to put a stamp on the land. Created an art which had elements from Western art, Byzantine art, Muslim elements, and I'm not saying art because obviously Muslim it's aniconic. They do not we do not. They do not represent the divine, like in Judaism. We do not have, it's aniconic, but we have elements from all this culture, Jewish, Muslim, Byzantine art, Western art, and they create a new art, which is called Crusader art. It's basically their claim to the land. It's just like, look, we are here. This is our culture. We claim the land because we have a cultural heritage, which is completely made up. But it gives them the opportunity to say, look, we came here, we have done this, this is our place now. It's a completely political statement on their behalf, but beautiful nevertheless. It combines a lot of elements. The funny thing is, I don't think that Crusader era is funny, but retrospectively speaking, it's just, this is a very funny story indeed, because obviously the Crusaders struck some coins in the Holy Land.
Yes. A war is horrible, but oftentimes lucrative. Yes.
Number one. Now, these coins mentioned in the year from the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, actually. And because obviously it was influences from the actual environment. There were a lot of Muslim people with whom they were trading. Now, the Pope, however, found out about this coins that they were mentioning the Prophet Muhammad, and absolutely went ballistic. He absolutely couldn't believe that the Crusaders were doing that, you know, the soldiers of Christ were doing something like that. So he immediately said, these coins should be banned. You never should use them. Don't. It was just, he went ballistic. He couldn't believe it. But it shows how obviously the people in the Holy Land actually were living in the Holy Land and had to trade, communicate, exchange ideas with the people there. You know, there were all different cultures, and from that perspective, it's actually rather beautiful that the cultures came together. They actually shared things. If only they could stop killing each other, that would have been perfect, but unfortunately
they did not.
They did not. Art production did not stop them from killing each other, unfortunately. But art, it's wonderful. The examples of Crusader art, I'm gonna show you a vase, if it's possible to see. It's just exquisite. Can you see that? Look at it.
Yes, that is very beautiful indeed.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Sorry, look at it. It's just gorgeous. This sort of art created there from Islamic patterns. This is absolutely fantastic.
It's a fusion art.
Yeah.
As we would.
And next to that, it's the coins I was telling you about. Sorry, it's a mirror image. What can I do?
You have to move it to your left.
Yeah.
So now they're visible. Oh God! Someone's angry.
These are the two coin. The coin. It's not two coins. It's the two sides of the same coin, where the Pope went ballistic about.
I think I'll just run. That's what I'm going to do. Also, I see that Amy N. Palmer is confirming that she is in fact Amy from A226, and asks whether the buildings and/or architecture in this game are accurate. In part. So I am not a Crusader architecture specialist, but we are currently in Acre, meaning that we are in a city that has recently seen a change in authority, if you will, meaning that it was reclaimed by the Crusaders, and they've the game devs. Oopsie daisies. The game crashed, is what it did.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hopefully I can get it to run again. Oh well. But what they've done is...
The assassin repented and does not want to kill anymore. That's it.
that I am tired of this bloodshed. But what they've done, apart from using a dreadfully depressing overlay to amplify the ambience of a city ruined, is include sort of European rooftops. So typically the roofs in a Near Eastern settlement would have been flat, since you don't have to... keep an eye on snow, for example, melting and potentially ruining your house when you don't allow it to slide off your roof. But in Acre, they have these...
Crossbow. Sorry. I saw crossbow. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So that's the fun thing. They haven't taken it out of the trailer because they did it very last minute. And obviously creating a trailer like this, a cinematic trailer like this, is a lot of work. So it's still in there.
But I saw it on the back of a Crusader, so that's correct.
No, this is the assassin. This is Altair who's carrying it. This is a Templar, so this would be one of the conspirators.
Oh dear.
And see now the crossbow is gone again.
Yeah, it is gone. Yeah.
It is a very cool trailer though.
It is a cool trailer, yes.
See, he blends into the crowd of priests. And what they've also done is that Acre has, I think, only one minaret left standing, so that would be one of the towers adorning a mosque in the entirety of the city. Whereas, for example, in Jerusalem and in the other city, the name of which eludes me at this moment, you have tons of mosques and minarets still fully functional and undisturbed, if you will. And what they've also included is a Gothic church, or rather a cathedral, even. So they've... Oh, Damascus. Thanks, J. Pascal. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to say something with Domitus, but that's obviously not what we need. But they have recreated a Gothic-looking cathedral, as you can see right now in the distance. I think they've done it because it's very recognizably Christian and European. But it is extremely unlikely that Gothic architecture of this style and scale would have found its way to the Near East at this point in time. So that is not very realistic, although understandable from a game development from a narrative point of view, I suppose. And in Jerusalem, they've done some very exciting things as well. Maybe we'll make it there before the end of the stream. Who's to say? Oops. There it went again. Hope that doesn't keep happening. And J.A. Pasco asks if there... Oh, first of all, Dora asks if the killing thing is something for an advanced course at the Open University.
Yeah, we before we move them to the killing thing, we actually teach them how to steal artworks, which is obviously very beneficial, profitable. So we take it stage one, how to steal an artwork and become very, very rich. It's for advanced, very advanced, assassinating people. Yeah. The next stage is how to steal your own artwork. Sorry.
And then J.A. Pascal also asks if there is a precedent for the hidden blade. To be honest, I haven't looked into that.
The hidden blade. Sorry, my phone is going. I'm just going to try to stop it. But the I was actually thinking about it exactly. I'm just trying to see in the books if I can find anything about the hidden blades, because this is something that you also have in films, right? The hidden blades.
Okay, so God, it's really hard to find, because most of the answers you'll find online to the question, is there a real life hidden blade, or what is the hidden blade based on, refer back to the franchise. So according to the franchise itself, like the in-game story, the hidden blade was first recorded as being used during the 5th century BCE in the area known as modern-day Iran, when Darius used it to assassinate King Xerxes I.
That is true. That is very true.
Oh, that is actual history?
Yes,
The assassination part or the actual hidden blade thing?
Both. The assassination part and the hidden blade. I'm pretty sure. I'm just trying to remember my sources from studying the period. I'm pretty sure this is true. I cannot verify it, obviously, because I don't have the sources right here, but I'm pretty sure it rings a very, very historic bell. The assassination for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
That is very cool.
Very. Oh, I just opened. Sorry, I'm a long time ago, in the 90s, the BBC had a very interesting series, The Crusades. Actually, was and I had bought the book that came out from this. It was actually a wonderful series, and it made you think about the Crusades. It was very, very ahead of its time for the 90s. And I just opened the page now. It says The Assassins. Honestly, it has a whole chapter on the assassins here.
Well, I mean, excellent.
I know. It's just wonderful.
Why do I keep falling off of things? Stop it. You're a pro parkour. God damn it.
Look at him though. He's probably it's because he's not wearing the 23 kilos of arms.
He is wearing
so
lightweight
swiftly.
linen.
Yeah, I know. He moves like a gazelle. Imagine if you had to do all this wearing 23 kilos worth of armor around you.
You'd be dead, and not by the blade, but by...
No, you would just probably sink, like literally, like Led Zeppelin.
Death by clothing.
Yes, that's it. Death by fashion. Fashion victim. He would have been a fashion victim, indeed. Excellent.
Also, I was right in... Whoa, there we go again. Why does it keep happening? Dang it. I was right when I suspected that the area, the hospital area I wandered into would be important for a future part of the game, because right now I have to go and assassinate a member of the Crusader conspiracy.
You cannot go into a hospital and kill an already ill man. No.
I mean, he is not ill. My target is not ill, so then it's fine.
Okay, if he's okay, you might as well make him ill. It will fit the hospital very well.
Yeah, I'll help him fit in.
Yes, exactly.
An act of mercy.
How do I get in? Oh, there we go again. Such an old title. Oh, Lannister asks, I think I watched that documentary in my A-level classes. It's by Terry Jones?
Correct. Terry Jones and Alan Herrera. Wow. You actually watched it? It was good, right? I mean, you remember, I thought it was brilliant. I was studying. What was I doing at the time? I was studying for my MA. And I found it very interesting indeed. Terry Jones and Alan Herrera. I have the book here.
I just got slapped in the face by a...
Yes, I saw it.
It's...
very rude of them to slap.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very dangerous as well. Yeah, exactly. You slap them back.
Oh no, if I slap him back, I desynchronize. It's all very unfair. Ugh. Stop it.
First published 1994. The book was published 1994. Therefore, I'm assuming the series must have just, I can't believe that somebody else. I thought I would mention it, but I felt so old mentioning it. But I'm so happy that somebody actually watched it.
Lannister says that they watched it and it was very good, especially the part about the washerwomen, which I don't know what that is, but maybe you do.
How do you spell that?
The washer, so washing.
The washing and the women.
The washing women, yeah.
The women who were doing the washing, as in clothes washing and stuff like that, yeah?
I would assume, I don't know.
Yeah. That was quite a task on the day, of course, to wash and clean, obviously.
Yeah.
No washing machines, obviously. You have to take things, quite a task.
According to Lannister, there was a... Oh, no, please leave me alone.
Oh.
I got the wrong... Okay. He looked death straight in the face and said...
Yes. You can justify killing people as much as you want, Sophie. This is the name of the game, assassins, so...
I mean, if they point their bow and arrow at me, what can I do other than retaliate?
You're provoked to killing them, absolutely. It's self-defense, I think.
Exactly.
In the United States, that would qualify as self-defense.
Yes, well, but I'm not sure if I want to take the rules and laws of the United States as guidelines for my sense of justice.
No, I'm just saying that in the United States, the provocation you're faced, it will be probably, it would be it would qualify as self-defense.
I understand.
Also, if we've got any more lurkers from the Open University, or anyone else for that matter, if you haven't already and you like what you see, or you would like to see even more, consider following, or if you're feeling wild, even subscribing to our channel, and you'll be notified every time we go on air.
And of course you'll also support our noble cause of bringing knowledge to the masses and making horrible puns about historical themes, which is our main goal, naturally. Whoa, there we go. I should probably pay attention to what I'm doing. Oopsie daisies.
I think I need to also mention another thing about the Crusades, which I think it's not obviously, but it's important to remember that, that the very first Holocaust actually took place in the Crusades.
So you're referring specifically to the
massacre of the Jewish people, yes.
Okay.
The first victims of the Crusades were actually Jewish people. It was while the troops were moving in Western Europe trying to reach the Holy Land. Effectively we had a preview of the Holocaust that took place many centuries later. It was just awful.
I mean,
It was
any
really
form of
sad.
genocide is awful,
Yeah.
but
It was just again the systematic persecution of the Jewish people
is sadly a recurring
Yeah.
phenomenon. Yes.
I'm afraid that there are no words to describe it.
No.
But yes, and when I think talking about history repeating itself, I know it was contested and it's a lot. I agree, it's a philosophical debate and we need to be careful. But yeah, this is a very, very, very bad example where history repeats itself. And the first Holocaust, it did indeed take place during the First Crusade. They were massacred, which is persecution of the Jewish people. Yeah, sorry.
According to Lannister, put very shortly but sweetly, I suppose, is they killed them because they weren't Christian, which seems to be a motivation throughout a lot of historical conflicts. You're not adhering to the same belief as we are, so please die.
Exactly. Basically, Lannister, is that the name you said? He's absolutely correct. I mean, the Crusaders, being Crusaders, that's why they had the cross. They were the soldiers of Christ. That's why they had the cross and everything. And effectively, I just don't I cannot get my head around that philosophy or the way they were thinking, because Christianity's message is also about peace and love,
kindness and forgiveness and all that.
And sharing. If you have more than one item of clothing, just give it to those who suffer, etc., etc. So it has all this kind of nice, being friendly, be loving, and then the Crusaders took it upon themselves just to eliminate Christ's enemies, whatever that meant. Whoever who's not a Christian had to be eliminated. So they massacred everybody. Oh dear, you fell. Yeah. And even they took it even further, and effectively they even eliminated the Orthodox Christians in Constantinople in 1204. So they were very specific. Everybody who was not a Catholic Christian had to be eliminated at some point, really.
Also, Lannister, who is on a roll, might I say, comments that Richard also committed what would now be a war crime at Acre by slaughtering many Saracen prisoners. I think Uraban's speech at Clermont got them all riled up.
Yes, that is correct. He would have been tried for crimes against humanity, Richard I, in The Hague, under current law. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
But
he
I think we've got
everybody.
A lot of historical figures who would have been subjected to a process like that. All the Romans, for example.
Yes. I that's why we have to, discriminate, obviously, for their time. Their rules, the laws, they're different. All I'm trying to say is that these were supposed to be soldiers of Christ, peace, love,
absolutely.
and then going and massacring human beings, because it's an oxymoron, effectively. But yes, at the time, these crimes against humanity obviously did not exist as an idea. I'm just talking about present day. If
absolutely, yeah.
he were
if he were transported to current day society, we wouldn't have been too happy about what he was doing.
No, it's just that again, Richard the Lionheart is one of these people who had a fantastic PR. I mean, he's always portrayed so gallant and Lionheart, that says it all.
The ideal king, basically.
Yeah. He, unlike John, his brother, he had a fantastic PR. I don't know how much money he paid for that but he did whoever did his PR did a very good job. He's always, he was Richard the Lionheart, or in I think he has even been portrayed by the late Sean Connery in Robin Hood, right? I'm right.
Was he?
I think so.
I
He
haven't
has a
seen any
cameo
of the live-action Robin Hood films. I've only seen the Disney one.
I'm talking about Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, and I think he has
Oh,
a cameo. And I'm pretty sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Sean Connery appears right at the end of the film. And he's supposed to be Richard the Lionheart, which is, of course, completely incorrect historically, because
I think there is more about the film, the Robin Hood film with Kevin Costner, that's historically incorrect.
It has. I know it was criticized, but it does have. It's about the friendship of Robin Hood with.
John, you mean? His...
No, it was that way. It was. I think I remember at the time it was criticized because the film was more about the friendship between Robin Hood and Morgan Freeman, who was playing the Muslim friend he had befriended in the Holy Land, which I thought it was again quite advanced. But of course, people say, "Oh, it was not about John, little John." Or all the other friends. Anyway, I don't remember. I'm not a Robin Hood expert. I've been to Sherwood Forest and I've seen this wonderful tree that he was supposed to be meeting with his friends, which is spectacular, but I cannot claim that I'm an expert on Robin Hood.
Also, I see Freya Shens. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. By all means, blame me if you wish to. Also, but this is my first time on Twitch watching something like this. But it's great, they say, and I am very happy to hear that. Glad you're enjoying the show. We try our best to bring you quality content and educate you at the same time. Whilst I try to invade a fortress by my lonesome, having no clue what back entrance I need to use to get into the damned heap of rocks with soldiers bordering every goddamn exit. There should be like a wall I can climb somewhere, but there isn't. Please stop hitting me. It'll do you no good in any sense whatsoever. Oops, daisies. I see Omar is lurking, by the way. Thanks for lurking in the shadows where you belong. Whoops, daisies. Oh, Alan Rickman plays the sheriff? What?
Yes, Alan Rickman plays the sheriff in the... I think nobody ever touched that role. Alan Rickman defined the role of the sheriff.
Did he? Was it that good?
Sheriff. Oh, he was spectacular.
I think he's pretty legendary in any role he plays. But
you've got to watch that. I think he stole the whole film. He was just so. He has this wonderful line and cancel Christmas because I think he's pissed off with something and he just goes around giving orders and cancel Christmas. It was just, you've got to watch it, Sophie. It's just...
He cancelled Christmas.
Yes, cancelled Christmas.
That puts him with the worst of villains, really.
Yeah, I know. No, it is, yes, it is true.
Speaking of villainy, we've got some pretty villainous things going on in the game. They are beating up a sick man, or at least trying to contain him, prevent him from escaping, I would assume. In the meantime, can I walk around? Do I have any sort of control? What am I supposed to be doing? Hello?
Can't you just stop the people from beating up the poor man?
No, the cutscene continues and I can't weave my way through these people, but I am guessing that the man in the middle is the one I'm supposed to kill. Of course, I'm not killing the middleman, because that's something you're not supposed to do, but he looks fairly nefarious, I dare say.
Yeah.
I saw, but not mine. No, you not have mine.
Oh, yep, I am murdering that man.
Every kind word matched by the back of his hand. All lies and deception. He won't be content until all bow before him.
Okay.
You should not have done that. Return him to his quarters.
Oh boy.
Once I tended to you,
Indeed.
I'll escape again.
In the meantime, I just try to find things on architecture in the Crusade, in Acre.
Oh no, they broke both his legs. Damn it. Ugh. Okay.
Have you people nothing better to do?
It's not much of a hospital, I dare say.
It's an alternative hospital, I suppose.
I mean, it's a hospital that provides its employees with work. Yeah.
Yes, you can say that.
Proactively provides its
Yes,
employees
yes.
with work.
Yes.
Anyway, I have to find another way in now, I think.
So I'm just trying to find.
I'm guessing these people will get angry with me. Whoops.
Everybody gets angry with you because you're there to kill them, Sophie. Of course. People are not exactly.
You don't have to rub it in my face. I have only the best of intentions at heart, and people keep prosecuting me for it.
I think that's what the Crusaders actually said, that they had the best interest in their hearts and they just went around massacring everybody. But yeah, okay, fair enough.
Are we the bad guys?
It depends on the perspective, actually.
Absolutely true, very true. But at least I'm not breaking the legs of patients. I've got that going for me.
Okay,
That's
yes,
a win.
true. That is true. That's true.
I still need to. Oh, there we go. There's a ladder.
Here we go.
Ladder. That looks good. Hey, buddy. It kind of looks like that they've been infected with the plague or something, with all those blackish blue spots. But that would be a little on the early side. Maybe they're bruises. I don't know.
The plague was pretty frequent in conditions where.
Yeah, but like where it would be a grand scale. Oh, someone saw me.
I'm up here. How did you spot me? God damn it.
Look at that. He's very agile.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh no, God, no, oh no, damn it.
Oh. Okay. Power move. What am I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing. How am I supposed to sneak in if the sneaky route also...
What? No, go away. They too are very agile. Sheesh, I'll leave. Damn it, you've made yourself clear.
Oh, they're after me. They're after me. Oh no.
They're kind of after you. Don't blame them, Sophie.
I never said I blamed them. It's a matter of perspective. I don't like them following, so I can comment on that. Whew. Okay. Oh, I'm.
That's a very sorry. My husband just sent me clearly Rembrandt has joined, and by Rembrandt I don't mean
the painter.
People. No, the dead painter. No.
That would be cool, though.
That would be very cool. Rembrandt, El Greco, anybody who feels this, just join us. But actually.
Oh my God! My target has followed me. That was it.
My target has followed.
Yeah, I mean, in the smartest of moves.
You're not doing a very. Your target is anyway. So Rembrandt, my husband, sent me a text saying, "Are they meant to be lepers in the hospital?"
So that could be it.
Yeah.
That could definitely be it.
Thank you, baby. If you're listening, sorry, it's just that very. And again. I am not, Rembrandt, not the famous Dutch painter. My husband, who's named after him.
Well, and he's also pretty cool, so...
He is. My husband is very cool. He's an art historian as well. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you. I think it is. Maybe he's right. I think they're meant to be leopards, right? Yes, that's why this. Absolutely, yeah. Sophie.
I think I'm just going to kill them all is what I'm gonna do. I'll probably die trying, but hey.
Kill them all. Whom are you killing now? The lepers in the hospital?
No.
I'm just said, I'm going to kill them all, and I thought, okay, this is a way of getting, very drastically freeing beds in the hospital, I suppose.
Up, I think. Wait. Can I? That would be nice. That would be. It's not connecting. It's. Oh, god damn it. For some reason, Oops. Okay.
You're dead. They killed you, Sophie.
They did.
Oh no.
The
Does it mean we have to
bastards.
start all over again?
No. Hopefully, I'll have a quick save point. There we go. Okay. We'll retry, and hopefully, I won't mess up as majestically as I did just now. Oh, hey, also Def. Welcome to the stream. We are currently wreaking havoc upon the Holy Land and being historically bad at it. With Okay. My target has spotted me. Case in point. I think that's him. I think he's going to die. If the game will let me, please. Why am I not walking? Here. There we go. Oh. There we go. Well, that was easy. I was good at counter kill once. Once upon a fortnight, I took out a mass of 30 Crusaders in one go without dying. But that was 4 years ago when I was young and innocent. And also not simultaneously trying to present a cohesive narrative and interview a Byzantine art historian. I know how the counterattacking works. But yeah, the game does have permanent right mouse button holding to kill them all, but you have to time your counterattack right, and if you don't, you will in fact die anyway.
Who is this person dying in your arms? And what is he? What is this? Just narrating his life story while dying? I mean, what is that?
No, so one of the classic Assassin's Creed gimmicks is that your targets have this dialogue/monologue in which they reveal their motivations and their ideology before they die in your arms, and that's what's happening right now. But sadly, the game doesn't have a subtitles feature. So
okay, but it does look as if this person is narrating his life story. It's just clearly, judging from the wound that it's around his neck. Blimey, he keeps on going quite well. Oh, finally, okay, that's it.
Finally, sheesh.
Well, but honestly, look at that. He was just talking and talking.
Oh, this is the moment where I make a tactical retreat. Please don't. No. Oops, Daisy's. So far, my tactical retreat is not exactly tactical. But I'm definitely retreating. Whee! Run! What is a chase cam? Oh, that's a chase cam. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. Awesome. Whoops, daisies. I have to find a place to hide, is what I have to do. Oh, Berserk, whom I also haven't seen before, I think, says they haven't been at the faculty in a year or two. I'm not sure if you're asking me if I teach at Leiden or Dr. Lymberopoulou, but I am actually a student of the Leiden University. I'm in my third year of the Bachelor Archaeology, and you are, amongst many other things, a lecturer at the Open University, right?
Yes, I am. I am a senior lecturer in art history at the Open University.
Exactly. I need to find myself a nice and... There we go. A cozy bench. I am now invisible. There we go.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To me, it looks as if you're like an ostrich. You have put your head in the sand and you think that nobody can see you. But in fact, okay, honestly, look at you. You're sitting on a bench and you're the only one dressed like that. And waiting. Never mind. Why do I bother? Okay, you changed benches now. I see. Fair enough.
Now I'm invisible. Now it works.
Invisible.
No, it's I would agree with you that the toddler stratagem of I can't see them so they can't see me isn't a very realistic one, but in this game it works.
It works, clearly it does.
But I have to find my way to the bureau without releasing all hell upon my ass again. Luckily I'm close to the bureau. There we go. Also, Lannister, I would request you refer from making snide comments about my innocence. I am a most virtuous individual, and I do not know what sort of corruption it is that you're referring to.
You're only killing the bad people.
Then you should return to Masyaf.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies when his wife asks him, "Have you killed anybody?" and said, "Yes, but they were all bad." So that justifies it, you know. They were all bad. It's okay to kill bad people.
I think there is a cabaret song. Is it Jailhouse Tango? Something like that. You've got a bunch of female inmates dancing the tango whilst also doing a musical number about how their husbands had it coming.
Oh yeah, they had it come. That's Chicago.
Yeah, there you go.
Chicago. That's a great. It's my favorite scene in Chicago, the musical. I love it. It's just a fantastic scene. Yes, they had it coming, as you said. Exactly.
I didn't do it, but if I'd done it.
Yes, they had it coming.
Mm-hmm. I'll be fast forwarding to myself.
Now, in the middle, while you try to kill people, I'm trying to.
I'm done killing people for now.
Oh, you've done killing people.
Have you news for me, Altair?
Sorry, I'm just trying to find about Crusader architecture. So the thing I have found here is this artistic activity in about the cathedral we saw in the background. Artistic activity in the Crusader states was thus diminished until the mid-13th century. Castle building continued of necessity, of course, because they had to, fortify themselves. But only one important church was completed, Notre Dame of Tartus. So clearly we have certain churches in the Romanesque style completed in the area, but you're right, I don't think anything like that. The superb Gothic cathedral we saw in the background, it wouldn't be, no. Plus, they were the Crusaders, in all fairness, the number one priority was to fortify the land. So they built castles upon castles, and I think everybody has heard of the Crac de Chevalier and of these famous castles in the area. For churches and other things, they used existing buildings. So they were very. They had to really. They reused existing buildings. So yes,
you've got in Rome. I mean, Rome has everything in terms of archaeology, but you've got all over the Mediterranean. You've got Greek temples turned Roman temples, turned churches, turned back to Roman temple, turned to pagan sanctuary, turned to church again, and they're wonderful palimpsests. It's amazing to read about and study.
They had to prioritize. You can understand why. I mean, they had to defend themselves. So what they really built, they invested in building fortresses. But for the rest, they reused buildings. certainly buildings for living in, houses, etc. And yes, I find it highly unlikely that they would have such a god. I mean, it looks very much like the Cologne Cathedral, what you
Yes.
have in the background. It's very beautiful, it's grandiose, but not something you would have seen in the Holy Land at the time. No way.
Or in Acre, or for that matter.
No, it's just no way. But yes, they did basically most of their art. It was like manuscripts, icons, paintings, the vase I showed you. Yeah, portable.
My students do not fully understand what it is to wield the blade. Perhaps you could show them what you
Also,
know.
Lannister says that Cabaret got me thinking about the film and that scene in the beer garden. I haven't seen the film Cabaret. I would really like to. It's on my list, but my list...
I haven't seen Cabaret either. It's true.
My list contains about 3,000 titles, which is a very large number to get to if you also need to sleep from time to time and work and study and sometimes pretend to be a sociable human being.
Yeah.
Also, I've got throwing knives now, which is very nice because I can take down enemies.
You didn't have throwing knives? I thought
No.
you had them at the north.
I had them, but they were only there as a promise for the future and not in fact...
Accessory. Okay.
Oh, I wanted to... Come on.
And that, my students, is how we all
So, yes, I'm not sure what else I can talk to you about the sword he's carrying, if you want me to, but it might be kind of boring stuff.
No, I think swords are very cool. Please do.
Oh, swords are very cool, but just trying to see that the sword that you are carrying as an assassin, I mean.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Also, for the people in chat, of course, as I've said many times before, thank you for joining in. Hope you're having fun. But by all means, if you've got any burning or smouldering questions, what have you, feel free to ask. They can be about the game, they can be about the historical setting, they can be about anything, really. Can't promise I'll answer everything, really, but I can always try, and I'm sure my honourable guest will agree. We're here to share knowledge and discuss things and geek out about things, most important of all.
mostly to geek out about things, yeah. Share knowledge is just, just to have a laugh. No, the sword now. I can go into the nitty gritty because I have found something about the sword. This is the. Oh, here he is. You're holding it now. Can you pause? We tell him not to kill you. Just hold his sword high so we can actually analyze the sword. Say, hold on a second.
Yeah,
there. Don't kill me yet.
I can't.
I'm joking. Of course you can't. It's just hold on. I need to take a screenshot of my sword because people are studying my sword.
I can take out the sword. I think once I've left the assassin stronghold.
You must be busy.
Yes, I am. In fact, very busy, my good man. That was
yes.
an NPC talking to me. I'm always busy.
But basically, the kind of sword you're holding as an assassin, and you clear. Oh, look at that! You're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
Yes, very good. The upper part of the sword, that's where your hand is around, it's called the hilt. The whole part from where your hand is wrapped around the sword, that upper part is called the hilt. And at the top, it has the pommel, which is a weight to balance the blade. Mm-hmm. So it's not tilting when you're waving it around trying to massacre people. And
you can also use it to hit someone with if you don't want to stab them to death.
You clearly done that a lot, haven't you, Sophie? Yes, you're clearly an expert on that.
I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So where your hand is around the sword is it's called the grip for obvious reasons, because that's where you're holding the sword. and the cross, that cross, little cross, just before your hand, it's called the cross guard. It's effectively to protect your hand from being, I don't know, it says here to protect your hand. And of course, then you have the long steel blade for slashing or thrusting, or basically killing people in plain language. So this is basically the whole. I was just describing the sword that you're holding. Yes, the top part is called the hilt and has the pommel to weight and balance the blade, the grip where you hold the sword, and the cross guard to protect your hand, and then of course the blade with which you're doing the killing. But as you very astutely pointed out, you can also knock somebody on the head with the pommel. You're very right. You can actually, use the back of the sword and just knock them over.
A lot of guns, from the moment on that technology is sophisticated enough for guns to be sort of handheld without you having to balance it on something to reload it every, I don't know, 1 or 2 shots, have these huge, depending on the value of the thing, elaborately carved pommels on them for, in case it either becomes too much of a close combat situation to use the gun, you can knock someone over the head, or if you're out of bullets, you can still use it as a very functional weapon.
Yes, absolutely. And again, so for whatever reason, I feel that this has become a reference to films. But now I'm going to reference Dances with the Wolves, where there is actually a scene when an Indian tribe is anyway. Never mind. It's just one of the Native Americans is holding a gun that Kevin Costner has given to them, and.
Another film with Kevin Costner. Oh, the screen froze. That's interesting. I think I'm going to see if I can fix that. I'm not sure if Angeliki can still hear us, for that matter. Oopsie daisies. Oh, there you are again.
Oh, yeah, I just clearly, it decided to throw me out. Anyway, I don't know how much you heard, but it's just basically the Kevin Costner character who's Dances with the Wolves instructs the Native American to shoot the gun, not just to really use it to smack people on the head with. Lovely music, actually. This
Lannister again also has seen the film and finds it to be a brilliant piece of cinema. Epic.
Yes, it is. Epic.
Quote unquote.
It is. Yes, it was actually also quite advanced for its time. Let us not forget, because you have to judge all these things within their own context. But also exquisite music, exquisite film music.
Okay, I'll have to add that to the list of things I need to watch sometime in the future.
Yes, it is very worth watching. Oh, you have a horse now.
I do. I have a horse, and I didn't even have to trade my kingdom for it.
No, and you're not actually weighing down your poor horse,
with
wearing
23 kilograms
of poor horses. Can you imagine?
I mean, that's one of the things I tend to judge historical films by. If they have the knights in full armor ride on these beautiful, full-blooded Arabian show ponies, basically, or a good, sturdy Frisian battle horse with thighs the circumference of an American redwood tree, because that would have been the historical reality, because obviously one of those admittedly very beautiful but not exactly used to carrying a massive knight in full gear around horses wouldn't have been used in battle because they'd be exhausted before even entering the battlefield.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm reading here that each knight kept a variety of breeds, talking about horses now, the most valuable being a powerful war horse called a destrier, which is French, meaning
Okay.
right hand, because obviously the horses were very important. You can see why.
Yes. We're headed for Jerusalem, by the way.
All right.
Yeah. And hopefully without being intercepted by the Saracens.
I also found another information saying if traveling over a long distance, the knight would have his arms and armor carried on the back of a small but sturdy pack horse or a mule.
Yes.
So effectively,
yes.
he wouldn't, because of course the horse would die by the time they reach the destination. Mind you, if you don't wear your armor and you really need to engage, it took a lot of time to put that armor. I don't know. It doesn't seem very practical. Yes, at one point you don't want to kill your horse by riding it with all this extra armor, but at the same time, you cannot tell your enemy, wait, I need to change first. I need to put on my armor.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if that was possible?
Please.
I think that's one of the reasons the Mongolians absolutely decimated the samurai trying to stop them from entering Japan.
Yes.
Because the samurai did fight that way.
Give me some time too. And of course, these horses, we need to remember that they need obviously carrying all this weight of not just a human being, but also a knight in full armor into the battle. They would have had to have very sturdy horseshoes, which they could have actually. I have images here of the horseshoes. Apparently, the shoes for large, heavy horses were made of thick iron, and they could have actually be square, not just the circular ones that we know. But for the heavier horses carrying heavier knights, and I'm not saying knights who have eaten and drunk too much, I'm talking about again their armor.
Although of course, body weight would have also been an issue to take into account.
Yes, but absolutely. But yes, they could be kind of. I'm looking at a square-shaped horseshoe here.
As a native Dutch speaker, the word horseshoe is very, very strange to me because we call them hoof irons in Dutch, like iron you put on the hoof.
Yes.
And horseshoe just conjures up an image of a horse wearing sneakers or something.
Oh, your image is just much better than mine. That I'm thinking of horses wearing this Manilo kind of stiletto shoes. Can you see that? Galloping very lightly and carrying these immensely heavy knights, but with very gentle and very fragile shoes. Pink shoes as well. Oh, beautiful. Sorry, I'm not. Cool. Yeah. So yes, it's very important, and we shouldn't forget that some knights, when they were riding into battle, they also put armor on the horses, so the horses were also fully armored. So the poor horse had to carry their own weight, their armor, the knight's weight, and his armor. I mean, can you imagine that poor animal? It's terrible. RSPCA should have done something about it.
According to Lannister, the Second Crusade had a huge baggage train.
Yes, it
which
did.
I mean, that would make sense. Yes.
Oh yes, all of them. I mean, I think all crusades had baggage trains. It was not only the army. Obviously, you had as I said, artists and people who were seeking their fortune, women traveling with them, cleaning, cooking, all of this. Yeah, huge motley crew.
Oh, horse, please, you're not helping me being sneaky. Come on. I'm here, horse. Horse,
It's
please. Eesh. Well, I guess we'll just run. There we go.
So are we going to Jerusalem now?
Yes, we are. And you'll
Acre
see
to
that they've
Jerusalem.
rendered Jerusalem very differently from Acre.
So we have to fight into Jerusalem as well.
No, we should be able to just enter it, although clearly the Saracens are not too happy about that prospect.
So we're just gonna kill a couple of people again, right?
No, I'm going to run from a couple of people and hope they don't catch up to me.
Right, okay, that sounds much better.
Um,
Just trying to see how far in the map is from Acre to Jerusalem. It's quite a fair distance.
oh yes, absolutely. But of course they've shrunk down the distances in the game
Yeah,
to make it playable.
Because you have to go Acre, it's Haifa, Nazareth, Lida, Jerusalem. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, it's a whole battalion. No, leave me alone.
Who's chasing you?
I think it's the Saracens. Or what they're supposed to be anyway. They don't look Western to me. Up, no, I just wanted to show what you look like to a fellow historian. Okay, never mind. Don't be analysed then.
I think there were civilians. You ran over civilians.
Well, you shouldn't have been walking on the road then. Kind of the Amsterdam mentality, I'm afraid.
Yeah, this, Oh, here you go. Is it a dance you're performing just before you reach Jerusalem?
No, it's if you stand in place and trigger the parkour mode of the character, then you can jump standing still and well.
Brilliant. I love it. Stop attacking the people on the. I mean,
I'm not
just-
attacking them. I'm using the road just like them. See,
You're
Jerusalem.
bullying them because you're on a horse and they are on foot, so you're bullying them out of the way. It's not nice. The horse is magnificent, I have to say. Oh, look at that.
Absolutely. And there you see the. Is that the Dome of the Rock? I think it might be.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it might be, yeah.
Oh, and the Ukrainian word, according to Paris, for horseshoe derives from their word for blacksmith, so it makes more sense. I mean, I think that technically shoe for a horse also is very sensible. It's just,
Yes.
well, at least as a Dutch person, it makes me see strange things in my mind.
But it is a very sensible, yes, I think so.
And
Yeah, the Dome of the Rock, I think it's totally what we saw.
And Lannister says that the entire French court went. Louis even took his wife, Eleanor.
Yes, Saint Louis the Ninth. Yes.
I am going to sneak my way into the city, as one does.
As one does. Indeed. As one does. Just sneak your way.
Oh, they're harassing a priest in the graveyard. I should probably do something about that. I am killing people after all. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. What can I say?
Oop, there we go. That's one down. 3 more to go. Ow! I'm trying to draw my blade and it's not working. There we go. I don't wish to die. You go die. There you go. I've got the counterattack system. Ah, finally. I think Assassin's Creed is a great game that is still very fun to play in 2021, but the parrying system is a little overpowered in that once you've got the hang of it, it allows you to systematically plow your way through a group of 30 or more soldiers without suffering so much as a scratch.
He's not the last of them. I hope so. Still, best not to take any
Why can you
chances.
never find
I'll
the
hurry
thing
home.
they're exactly looking
Think I'll leave
for?
it
I
again
had it
anytime
in
soon
my,
either.
I had the dome of the
You've done me a kindness, young man.
rock
Be assured,
here, and now I cannot find it again. Ah, here we go.
I had to save the citizen to be able to enter the city because there's a quadrant of monks walking around with whom I can blend in and just subtly as ever move past the guards, because however would they notice this obviously not a monk man or priest? I'm not sure what these... I'm assuming they're a sort of monk.
No, they're
Sneaking
not.
his way in. Well, they are praying.
Yeah, it doesn't make them monks.
No, but do you have an equivalent of monks in the Islam?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, I
sorry.
would assume they are Muslims
Yes.
praying, but I'm not.
Yes.
I wouldn't know what else to call them. Priests, a clergyman. If anyone in chat knows, please share. By all means.
I have.
Anyway, I'm inside. Take that, the establishment. Now let's see where I'm supposed to be. Oops, sorry, madam. I should probably head for that viewpoint.
There we go. So what they've done in Jerusalem, which is right now, I think we're already at the point where Saladin allowed the Christian pilgrims entry into the city to do their pilgriming. So Jerusalem is in the game, sort of designed as a melting pot for both Christian and Islamic elements. So you've got the mosques, the minarets. You can see them all over the city. And you've got the churches, one of which I'm standing on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are.
There we go. Nice view of the city. And there is the Dome of the Rock.
Yes, the Dome of the Rock.
That's a rather tricky area to enter, but since we've got 20 minutes left, I think I'll risk it anyway, because they have done a beautiful job of recreating it in-game. Of course, taking into account...
It's a very important... the Dome of the Rock is very important for all...
Three monotheistic...
cultures. Yes,
yeah.
Yes, of course. This is the foundation stone, the rock where for Jews, Christians and Muslims heaven and earth meet.
Mm-hmm.
It is the rock on which Abraham is said to have been ready to sacrifice his son. Ismail, according to the Quran, Ismail's brother Isaac, according to the Bible. It is the rock from which Muhammad is said to have made a miraculous night flight to heaven.
Also,
so it's very important, and actually, before the Crusades, the Crusaders appeared. They managed to Christians, Jews, and Muslims managed to actually work around each other in the Dome of the Rock. Of course, as I said, the Crusaders came and they messed it all up.
Also, J.A. Pascoe theorizes that the 4 men that we entered the city with might be some sort of Sufi practitioners.
And
I
Amy has to get ready, so she'll be leaving. But she enjoyed it greatly, and I'm glad to hear that. And also delighted that you followed the channel. So see you again sometime, I suppose.
Bye, Amy.
And the game calls them scholars. Okay, so then we'll go with scholars, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm standing, by the way, at the one of the facades of the dome, and you can see they've adorned it with beautiful mosaic tiles. Is that what we call them in Dutch? I'm not sure if it's the correct term in English, but and scriptures from the Quran, I would assume.
Yes.
And of course the dome, which we cannot climb because gameplay wouldn't allow you to scale rounded surfaces yet, back in the day, over a decade ago, at least in this game. But you can see that it works quite beautifully with the lighting and the tiles, and
Beautiful, yeah.
It's very nice.
Now, until 586 before Common Era, it was surmounted by the fabric of Solomon's temple. Now, from 516 before Common Era to 70 Common Era by the Second Temple, and from 132 by a Roman temple of Jupiter, until the construction of the present-day Islamic monument in 691. So, as you said earlier, Sophie, it goes back from religion to another religion to another religion to another religion. So yes, it used to be Solomon's temple, and then the Roman temple of Jupiter, and then so you can see it's been handed over from one religion to another. But it's beautiful, isn't it? Look at it.
Yeah,
It has been recreated magnificently in the game, I have to say.
Yes, in this game they've created it with gold plating, or rather tiling even. I'm not sure if it always... I mean, of course, there hasn't always been gold on there.
I doubt it, actually. No, certainly not at the time of the Crusades. I doubt it, primarily because the Crusaders would have taken it all. I really doubt it, honestly, and I mean it because
look at that.
When they went in again, I'm looking at Tancred and his men. Tancred, one of the Crusaders, and his men smashed their way into the dome of the rock and stripped it of more than 40 silver candelabra, each of them weighing 3,600 drams. Pretty sure this is a measurement, but I don't know exactly what it means. And a great silver lamp weighing 44 Syrian pounds, as well as 150 smaller silver candelabra and more than 20 gold ones, and a great deal more booty.
Well, that sounds like they were rather thorough.
Yeah, I'm reading from what the Crusaders, that they were very thorough in their destruction and carrying all booty. That you can always trust them to make sure that they stripped everything very thoroughly. I'm just saying that if the dome were gold plated, probably we would have known from the sources. I don't think so. And also, I'm also very positive that the Crusaders would not have left anything behind. And
no.
Sources would have recorded it as well. Yeah.
Ah, god damn it. Oh no, please let me. There we go. Oh no! Oh dang it! Oh no! Oh, I meant no offense. Oh god.
Are you dead? No, you're not dead.
I'm not dead. I cannot die. I am
Of course you're not. You're exactly sorry. You keep on forgetting that
respawning.
that detail, that minor detail, that you cannot die. I mean, your character is assassin.
Well, I mean, they can, which means you'll desynchronize, but I think the idea is that the sequence of events is set in stone in the DNA they retrieved of this particular man, Altair, but you can relive it in whatever fashion you wish, so long as you go through a few key events, namely the assassinations of your targets, the conspirators, and not killing civilians, with the notable exclusion of any and all that attack you first, which is currently going on. Well, I mean, technically I attacked them first. Oh, golly, But if they don't kill me, I'll probably kill myself.
Sit there and become invisible. Yeah. That is, nobody can see you there.
I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Subtlety is my middle name, and it reflects in the game. See, there we go.
Nobody can see you. Oh.
There we go. Peaceful. Oh, peace has returned to the holiest of cities. Or would that be Rome? Oh, I'm not sure.
No. Holiest of cities is not Rome. Jerusalem sounds more. Rome wouldn't. Ah, you mean under current circumstances with the Pope? Sorry, I was thinking, I don't know. I can't tell you. With the Pope, I'm not sure. I'm not a Catholic, sorry. And I don't believe that all roads lead to Rome. I'm a fervent believer that they do not, under any circumstances. On the contrary, I believe that all roads lead to Constantinople or Athens. But yeah, maybe I'm biased, both as a Greek and a Byzantine, so don't take my word for it.
You can turn it around and it'll still work. You can say all roads lead away from Rome.
Yeah, but that's philosophically going into a rabbit hole here, because if you say that, you indirectly assume or have to accept that all roads lead to Rome in order to lead away from Rome.
Yes, but it's all in the phrasing of things. Like you are indeed insinuating that all roads lead to Rome, but by saying that all roads lead away from Rome, you are also moving the focus to the world surrounding it, and even saying perhaps that one wouldn't want to be found dead in Rome.
No, I suppose you're right, but it's I think the students' philosophy would have field day trying to decipher this one. So
one of my roommates is a philosopher. I'll ask him.
Yeah, but I prefer. I'm very firm. Not all roads lead to Rome. Just make it very clear. That's it.
Okay. I respect that. Sure, we'll leave it at that. We're historians,
yes,
not philosophers.
No, I love philosophy as well. Come on, just.
I think this is the snarky bureau member. Sorry, this is some in-game stuff, but I think he hates my guts.
You have to kill him?
No. I work under him at this point, but he really dislikes me because Altair is admittedly not a very likable guy. Altair is obviously is the main character, the character we're playing as.
Well, kill him then, and you've.
Oh no, I can't.
You cannot.
I'd mess up. Apart from the fact that I can't get close to him, because as you can see, there is a counter in between us, which I naturally can't scale. Yeah.
Which is really surprising after all you've seen, just kind of climbing. Yeah, look at you going, and you cannot scale one tiny little whatever that was. Look at you going here. Yes, anyway.
The illusion of freedom in games, am I right?
Yes, exactly. Another philosophical point.
But he dislikes Altair very much, but he still needs to order him around, and that results in some very, very cutting words back and forth.
Let's see, what are we doing? What am I supposed to... Oh, I'm supposed to go around and investigate things again. Oh dear. Well, let's do that then.
Crusade for what? Ignorance? Violence? Madness? We must resist. We must fight them in any way we can.
Oh, someone is in game. Someone is holding a very passionate speech against the Crusaders, commenting on how they are crusading for what? Violence, destruction, and all that. And they should
Yeah.
be banned from the Holy Land.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could possibly disagree about what the havoc and the destruction and the blood they spilled there. I mean, anything but. Yeah, totally. I don't think anybody can disagree with that or could argue in favor of the Crusaders' presence in the Holy Land. It was disastrous.
There we go.
Yeah, look at you. Look what you can do, and then you cannot just climb over a tiny little whatever that was to get to that guy who doesn't like you and kill him. I mean, that is really, come on.
It's unjust. It is cruel. It is most frustrating.
Look, you're sitting. Look at that, just balancing it so high up. Here you go. Oh, I love that.
No matter how many times you do that, even if you're not doing it in person, it feels amazing.
I know it does, doesn't it?
Let me see. On to the next viewpoint. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Infidel pigs, am I right? That's, I mean, that's what the dude said. Not me. Let's see if I can... Oh, yeah, that should be fine. Oops, it daisies. Huh, you've noticed me, sir, and thus you die. There we go. I always make true on my promises.
Yes, clearly.
Let's see, how do I... Whoop!
Oh, dear.
That was a close one.
And now to climb this majestic piece of architecture. There we... Oh, there's a dude. Should I... I'll just do my thing and hope he doesn't notice.
Sorry, this is... Oh, here's a bird coming. Probably the bird. Oh, dear.
Oh, we've got another first-time chat from viewer Colleen CT, I would assume, who's thanking us for an interesting evening. She is Colleen Cruz Taylor, who also followed your course at the Open University.
Oh, it's another one of 8226 students. Hi, Colleen.
I'm not sure if she's still in there. But I should probably plummet to my inevitable destruction, except I survive because I'm just built different. Hello, Ralphrius. Whoa! Thanks for joining in. What an honor to still have you here at this time. We've got 4 minutes left on the clock. Fashionably late indeed, but I think we've been having a good stream. I don't know about the people in chat. We've had a few people express their glee at what we've been doing. But please let us know if you enjoy what you're doing, or if you think there's things we could improve on or do differently. By all means, share your thoughts. We're happy to read them and hopefully apply them to future streams. Also, J.A. Pascoe says, I've visited Jerusalem in real life, and in my memory the Dome of the Rock is higher up compared to the rest of the city. But that could just be my memory. Well, it could very well be reality too, because obviously they've shrunken down the city to something that they could in fact represent in a digital environment on the devices of the time. But it's elevated in the game as well. You have to climb a few sets of stairs and make your way past a few sets of soldiers too. See, you can see how it's above the city. There's
it is above the city because also
the stairs too.
the name dome is clearly, but it's probably a correct recollection or memory. Yeah.
Oh, Lannister says it's been a brilliant stream. Thank you, Lannister. Glad to hear that. And also thank you for your contributions. You've had some very interesting points to share this evening, and
Yes,
many a
good.
different evening too. But yes, it's the Temple Hill, indeed.
Yes.
Let's see. What are we doing? What sort of mischief are we up to at this point in time? Actually, since it's... Oh no, who's angry at me now?
Everybody
Show
is
yourself.
You, Sophie. You're an assassin. You're not a good guy. What can I say?
Must you keep reminding me?
Well,
It
I'm
was a
sorry.
rhetorical question.
Well,
Oh, whoa, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Again, this is a rather old game, and sometimes it just glitches out on me.
we don't mind.
And
It's an old game.
Paris
It's really a good
says
game.
that... Oh, J. Pasco says, the hilliness is kind of missing here. Apart from the fact that I find hilliness to be a word that should definitely be added to the Merriam-Webster. Yes, the hilliness is missing a little, but you can see that they have tried to bring it back into the surroundings of the city. I can spot many a hill from here. It was the PS3, but they hadn't invented the hills yet. Exactly. And Paris says that here in Ukraine we always have churches on the highest place in cities or villages, even cut down the tip of Soviet structure so the church remains the highest. Really? That sounds very, very petty, and I love it. The other hilliness is spot on, yes, on 100%. I think that since it's 29 past, I'm going to wrap things up a little. Oh no, I've already synchronized this point. I customarily end the stream on a cliffhanger, and I did something else again. What is happening? How do I close this? Dang it. There we go. Problem solved.
He has, or you have the tendency to do a Spider-Man sort of way.
Yeah, I know,
It
right?
reminds me very much of Spider-Man.
I would love to be able to stream the most recent Spider-Man game, but it would be very difficult to ground that in historical banter. I mean, maybe comic book history. That'd be cool. Maybe we'll do it for a special sometime. Who knows?
Yes, why not? Comic book history is wonderful.
Oh, hey, Ludo History. Yeah, you arrived at the end, quite literally. I'm sorry. It's been a great stream, and thank you for lightening up the very last minutes of it. As I was saying, we usually try to end this stream on a literal cliffhanger, but since the amount of cliffiness in this game is rather disappointing, I'm afraid we'll have to make do with a minaret hanger.
Oh my word.
Oh, Colleen says that at the age of 71 it is the first one you've ever watched. So thank you and good night. Well, thanks for being here. Again, what an honour to have new people join in all the way from England in the Open University. I'm going to switch back to a full view of our beautiful faces, quote unquote, so I can say goodbye to you in full regalia, I suppose. Thank you for joining us. If you again liked what you saw, consider giving us a follow, and if you're feeling wild today, subscribe even. All the money we make from subscriptions goes back to the community, meaning we either buy game keys and give those as rewards for quizzes and polls and all that sort of madness. I hope you had a wonderful evening. I hope you had a wonderful week. And if you didn't, I hope things will start looking up for you very, very soon. It was my pleasure waltzing you into the weekend, hopefully for some much-deserved repose. For the Dutch, it's going to be a fun time again with another lockdown happening real soon. But I wouldn't call it much of a lockdown anyway. But that's something for a very, very different discussion. Thanks for being here. Make sure you drink enough. Make sure you sleep enough. Make sure you have fun from time to time. Stay happy. Try to stay healthy. And most important of all, stay funky. Thank you very much for joining us today, esteemed guest. I hope you enjoyed the show as well.
Totally.
You had
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It was a privilege. Really, it was a privilege. Thank you so much.
Well, it was a privilege to have you here. You had some amazing contributions, and I hope everyone remembers the name of Anna Komnene for the future.
Yes, please. Yes. She's a funky lady. You've got to give her a go. She's wonderful.
And
girl power.
For those of you who joined in late and don't know what the heck I'm talking about, we are referring to, I think she's the first officially acknowledged as such female historian.
Yes. Correct. You are totally correct.
And
Anna Komnene, the daughter of Alexios I, the emperor of Constantinople at the time of the First Crusade.
Exactly. So remember that name. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay funky, and farewell.